Good morning, Church of God. My testimony goes like this. I have so many things to testify about God, what He's done in my life.
Can you
but
just
I'll-
tell us your name and your testimonies?
Okay, sorry. My name is Nobuhle Makaza. I'm originally from Zimbabwe, and I reside in Four Ways. My testimony goes like this. I started coming to Shekinah Glorious Faith Ministries around 2012. So when I came, I was working as a domestic worker, and currently that is the job I'm doing right now. So when I started going to that church, I had a wish in my heart that I would want to change my life and start something so that I can move from being a domestic worker and have something else to do. So it happened that in Shekinah, one of the pastors, Pastor Manfred, asked people who wanted to study so that he can pray for them. I was one of them. I went and I told him that I want to study. So he prayed for me. Then I came on to see the man of God. When I came to see the man of God, I told the man of God that I wanted to study beauty therapy, but I didn't have enough fees for me to pay. So the man of God told me that all is paid up, go, it is well. So I went back and I told my boss that I had a mind of starting to study something. I told him exactly what I wanted to study. My boss told me that, okay, before you can go, and he said, how much do you want? I said, how much is the fees of what you want to study? I told him, in my pocket, I had only 3,000. And for my first certificate, for the first module, I had to pay something like 6.5, not including transport money. So it happened that my boss said, okay, fine, I'll pay you for the fees, and before I do that, I have to go with you to the college that you want to study so that you can assess and see if it's a registered college. I said, okay, that is well. We went together, and then she found that the college was good and everything was fine. She paid my fees. That was 2013 in July. So when I started studying, my intention was to study an international diploma. So I had a long way I had to have certain certificates, about 5 certificates before I qualified to write an international exam. So it all went well. God provided financially, in terms of everything, materially, whatever I needed, God was provided for me. And then after that, I finished my diploma in January this year. So when I finished my diploma, during the time I was studying, they usually came agents who advertise companies for people who want to go and work on the cruise ships. So that was one of my dreams. So I usually, in my heart, when they were advertising, I usually said, one day I will be working on the ships. So it happened that after I finished study, after I got my certificate, my international certificate in January, I wrote on my prayer points that I had one company that I chose. Then I used to write on my prayer points and said, Lord, thank you for my job at Steiner as a nail technician. That was one of my prayer points every time. So it happened that I applied for the job sometime in February. Then when I applied, it usually takes a long time to get responded by them. But for me, it never took a time. I got responded, and then I went to an interview. Then I passed my interview. Then after I passed my interview, they said for me, before I go and join a ship in the United States, I have to go through a training first for 1 month in UK. So I'm supposed to get a UK visa and 2 visas for the States. So that was calculating everything that I needed to process, including the medicals, everything else. I needed something like over 70,000, of which I had nothing at that time. So I prayed about it. When I prayed about it, my process was supposed to start in July this year to start processing the visas and everything else. It happened that Apostle Sadiq came here. It was on a Thursday, one of the Thursdays before he went back. He gave me a word of prophecy. He said to me there is a job waiting for you somewhere, but I see a problem in processing your papers and you need quite a lot of money. He prayed for me and he said to me, receive your finances. I received my finances by faith. Then I left. The following day was an all-night prayer. And then the prophet also, at that time when I came, when Pastor Sadiq declared the word of prophecy, I printed out all the documents that I had to use to process my visas and everything else. So he had touched those documents, he prayed for them. And then the following day again, I came back with those same documents during the night vigil. And then the prophet said to me, he prayed for me and prayed for the documents. He said to me, you will come back and testify. I left. On the 4th of, that was July, on the 4th of August last month, I applied for my UK visa. I decided to start with the UK visa. I provided everything that I thought was needed to support my application. So when, after 2 weeks, my application came back, and then I was rejected the visa. And when I got those things, I was a bit disappointed, and sometimes I couldn't pray, but I kept on, I kept on trusting God. I continued praying. Then I came back again with the documents. I decided to come on one-on-one prayer with the prophet. That was on the 30th of August. I came here with those same documents. I told the prophet that I was rejected a visa. Then the prophet said to me, the reason of you being rejected the visa was because you did not have sufficient funds. And he said to me, take out your passport, give me all of the other documents. He placed the documents on the altar. Then when I was about to go, I said to the prophet, I have to go for an appointment, because when I booked for US appointments, that was on the 1st of this month. So he said to me, I'm not allowed to give you the documents. The documents have to slip up by the altar. You can take your passport and go, but tomorrow morning you come back here, you clean the church, you take the you go to the prayer, you take the documents to the prayer mountain. Then I said to the prophet, but today I've asked for this day to come here. Tomorrow I'm supposed to be working, so I don't know how I have to do it, and I need the documents by Thursday. The prophet said to me, okay, fine, you go. Tomorrow after work, after 4, come back, bring me a bank statement. But because the bank statement was already with the documents, I didn't say, I just listened to what he said. Bring the bank statement. When I'm not here, ask the elder to pick up the documents from the altar, lift them up facing the altar, and then you must declare what, and then pray for them, and then he'll give it to you. Then you can go to the interview. I did likewise. I came. Of course, the cleaner, I haven't done it yet. I'm yet to find a day that I'll come and clean the church. And then when I did that, I took the documents with. On Thursday, I went to the interview. Before I went in the morning, I prayed. I said, Lord, go before me. You be my consular and do everything before me. I thank you for my visa. So when I went to the interview, I was not asked many things. The consular only asked me, how did you get the job, and when do you intend to enter the States? I explained, and I told him when I wanted to go to the States. He said, all is well. We'll contact you between 2 to 5 days through the email telling you to come and collect your documents. Then I said, okay. And during the interview, I was never asked any supporting documents. No bank statements were asked. I was only asked about the letter from the company that I was going to work for, that I'm going to work for. I submitted that letter. That was all. After, that was on Thursday. On Monday, I received an email saying my documents were ready for pickup. So I went to the DHL. I was surprised to find out I got my visas, my 2 visas.
Amen. As we can see, she's holding up the visas. My sister, can you explain the visas to us?
The one visa is 5 years. That is a transit visa. And the other visa is 2 years. That is a crew member visa. So the 2 years one, I can reapply. I can always renew it whenever I want to go back to join the cruise lines. So I'm expecting to be traveling from the 24th of next month, and I'm hoping God that as He has granted me this US visa, He's gonna also grant me the UK visa as I'm gonna reapply. I thank God for His grace.
Amen. So, my sister, your testimonies are you got the visas and you also got your diploma. Congregation, let's give God the glory for her testimony. What word of advice do you have for people that are going through the same situation?
I would like to say to the congregation and all the students, whatever you wish for, God is always faithful to grant to you. No matter the challenges you face, God will never fail us. He has always been there for us and will always be there for us forever.
Amen.